Let us up. Let me get the laptops off, and I can transition, and we can do altcoin nerd out real quick. I don't even know if I want to short. Because I would really like to clean this if we can. I just have conflicting, like, I'm so hyped about getting a rate cut, and part of me is like, yo, like we gotta get in these juicy altcoin longs, right? There's half of me is like, yo, we're gonna get rate cuts, man. You gotta hurry the fuck up and really go big on some of these altcoins, man. And some of them, I feel like, for example, Sol, I already have a really nice entry at that 95, and maybe I should just hold this bitch all the way to all-time high. You know? Obviously, I will TP a good chunk. I only have half of my Sol long running right now. Do you guys remember when we were talking about this Anchor VWAP, by the way? You guys remember when we were looking at this, like, before they started to converge like this? Because now if they start to overlap, god damn, that's going to look really interesting. And I might as well just be patient for that, you know? Let's start with ETH BTC and work our way back. Hustler, what's going on? Fibception says, I have the notebook ready for nerd out, sir. All right, let's get it. Please don't forget dot. Sure. All right. So, Fibby, you see that, right? Hey, let's get Fibception on the go to PSG. Okay. Well, shout out Croatia, shout out Sweden. All right, so you got .btc pulled up?
Yes, just before we start, I want to say thanks for everything you do, man. Like, really, really appreciate it.
Of course, brother. Well, I mean, the reason why I brought you on here is maybe if I'm missing something or you're seeing something that I don't talk about, feel free to bring it up.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna assume that we're not gonna even bother with talking about where could we short dot. Rather, we're just talking about like the if rate cuts are gonna happening, if altcoin season is gonna happen, where can we get into some longs, right? That's the narrative that we're going for.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly. Because I'm thinking like to myself, I'm not really tripping about like missing a short or something. I'm much more focused on trying to get good longs. Like if I miss a short and we go to like 70 or like 68, I'm totally fine with that. I just don't want to miss the longs.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do it. I just want to make sure that I'm only going to cover like the longs, and that comes with a big asterisk. Um, doesn't come with a big ass. It comes with a big asterisk, and it says front running rate cuts.
I'm not
Um,
sure I know what that word means, but I trust you.
oh, it means like I guess it's an American thing. Like if there's a sentence and like it'll have like a little star like that. It'll be like
Okay,
it'll be
like
like
a like a
I
like a
love
side note.
Mario. Just a joke like that.
Okay.
So it's like we're looking for longs, but understanding it will only be bullish with rate cut.
Got
Like
it.
that.
Got it. Got it.
You've been here when we were breaking down ETH BTC, right?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. And so, like, you understand if we're going to be looking for an ETH long or if we were going to be looking for a dot long, it would probably be very advantageous for us for dot BTC or ETH BTC to look bullish, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because
Or any.
if dot BTC is bullish, if dot BTC is bullish, that means that if Bitcoin is pumping, and it's going to always start with Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin is pumping, then dot is pumping harder. If Bitcoin is dumping, and Bitcoin can dump, dot can dump, the dot USDT pair can dump, even if dot BTC is pumping, right? So if dot BTC is bullish, it just means that you might want to put more money into dot, because if Bitcoin is pumping, dot will pump harder. And if Bitcoin is dumping, dot won't dump as much. So just the dot BTC breakdown just gives you the edge to maybe allocate a little bit more capital, but the dot BTC does not exactly tell you when dot USDT is going to be bullish. So until I see dot BTC become bullish, I feel like regardless of what the USDT price is doing, I haven't missed out on the long yet. So we good with that so far?
Yep, that makes
Okay.
sense.
And
Yes.
so I'm looking at dot BTC. We are in unprecedented territory. However, we're not in terms of price action and what we can identify as a bad low. So these are 8-hour candle closes. Are you with me? And you got to be honest here because I need to know what I'm working with. Are you as bullish as me in terms of thinking, hey, May 6th, May 7th, May 8th, right, is going to be FOMC. We've got GDP and PCE and a couple of interesting earnings coming up. And the tariffs talk may or may not change people's forecasts or whatever. And so I'm under the sort of thesis that I need to get into a long in the next 2 to 3 weeks before FOMC because I'm front running rate cuts. And basically, you're going to have that timing kind of lines up with the .BTC sweep, yeah?
Yep. I understand what you mean.
When you're looking at something like this, obviously a swing fail would be the easiest thing to play, but on the higher time frame, can you see a potential trident?
Yeah. 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 With leaving the bad low. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
correct.
Yeah.
So something like this.
Yeah. But we
And
we would like to make a higher high and then test, right? Or
you are absolutely correct. So you would want to see structure change. You would get the higher high, then you get the higher low. So the way that I'm going to look at dot BTC is I'm going to keep an eye on that 423. I'm going to keep an eye on the bullish breakout. And I want this. Me personally. And then if this does a bullish retest or whatever, I don't know. I would love that it just goes. This is kind of where we want rate cuts.
Mm-hmm.
right there. Because you would want this and this to happen organically, and this on a higher high would be the perfect. Like if we could get rate cuts right here, oh my god.
Got it.
But this is what I would be looking, and I wouldn't be afraid. This is probably when I would think about, oh fuck, we gotta figure out what we want to do about USDT. So this is .BTC for you for the next couple days or next couple weeks. You ready for .USDT?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Let me just switch to the chart. Yep.
All right, so let me turn all the single prints on for you just in case you don't have it. Do you have?
Yeah, I have trading light. I do.
Okay, dope. All right, let me just turn this shit on. All right, so for everybody that needs it, let's just kind of like not get too carried away and kind of top it out right there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them all the way up to these.
Okay, and what I want to do is pull. I don't have a problem with this. I think for me it would have been like this basically. So now that I'm kind of getting to see it closer, well, that's going to get cleaned. And so like when I see something like this, immediately I'm like, well, Bitcoin's going to go to, Bitcoin I guess wants to clean its bad highs. So I guess we're going to have more bing bong ding dong on Monday. So you know when we talk about like 70 breaking on Bitcoin, Fibs?
Yeah.
If Bitcoin broke 70, what do you think DOT would break? Don't you think $3 would get cracked?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
I think the best that we can do is start to maybe correlate. Yeah, like you saw, the low is not great, but I don't necessarily need the low to be. Some of these altcoins are gonna leave a shitty low behind and probably fly, because I remember that in the last altcoin season where I missed out on a whole bunch of longs because I was trying to get like a really clean low. And it kind of happened even when we were longing in like the 50Ks, if you remember. I pussyfooted on a lot of really nice long opportunities because the low wasn't like the best or the cleanest. But I think what we should just do is, because you already got the clean, the swing failed, the 3.5 got clean, you had the failed auction, you had pixel perfect 7.5. This looked super good. And then this is obviously not the reaction that you would want. And it's kind of stalling now. This is obviously not good, but I think it's just traditional markets and crypto, so it's all just kind of the same. I mean, you can even kind of say, you're already kind of topping out.
Got it.
Yeah. So I would say, like, you know what DOT usually makes me want to do is just go everything from, especially if you feel like Bitcoin is going to actually go to 70 and lose 70. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna just put limits in from $3 to $2 or some shit. It's gonna be like a crazy wick. It's gonna be some crazy shit, Fibception. Don't you feel it or not? You know it's gonna be. You
Yeah,
feel like it's gonna be a crazy wick. I think it's gonna be a crazy wick.
yeah,
Bitcoin
that
loses
makes sense.
70. $5,000 5-minute candle, 6,500, 65,000 gets tapped right back at it. Huge selling cascade when DOT loses 3, and I'm trying to buy all that. If it starts with a 2, I'm buying.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to be fast than slow, to leave people behind.
It's spending too much time. I'm trying to like think of every possible argument you could make. Like obviously, maybe on like a bigger time frame, this is the smaller failed auction structure. So this is what I would say. Like, are you already in a long, or you're on the sidelines completely? What about spot? Did you buy any at all
No,
before when it dipped earlier?
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes. So I only have spot at this point. I don't have any derivative longs on DOT or any altcoin for the matter.
got you. So like, I'm gonna just keep it dead ass simple right now, and just talk about things that you and I can both see. You can see exactly how I drew that line and what that line kind of means, right? And you understand
Yeah.
basic concepts like support getting turned into resistance,
Yeah.
right? So when I say that, for example, like what would confirm like this failed auction is Gucci, and what would confirm that the failed auction is not Gucci? Like it's basically structure change. So this, or this would be the invalidation.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like I think everybody can see that 3.8 is a pretty interesting level. Structure obviously needs to hold. Failed auction would mean that structure change continues after the level is reclaimed. Meaning, and you've seen this too, like when a failed auction happens after a failed auction. Yeah?
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking. And then that's when you get some shit like this.
Yep.
So if it really is bullish, you're gonna be able to not only make a penetration through the level, and a support at previous resistance, but you're able to continue the momentum, meaning that after you have broken through, the higher high and higher low continues. And so, like whatever high this is, that's a level of interest. Clearly, 3.8 is a level of interest. And then this is also a level of interest. So you're probably going to be pulling swing low, this resistance. And so even if it gets here, even if it pulls back, like that would kind of be your dude. If we missed it, that's kind of like your next stop. And I think all of this kind of correlates with Bitcoin, because there is a chance that Bitcoin already made a low at 76. I would love for it to make a low at 70, but I got to be objective. There's a chance that that 76 bullshit is the local low, at least until we go to 130. So do you see all the levels I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see how they kind of correlate with where maybe Bitcoin needs to go and where S&P is going to go? There's also a chance that S&P is going to hold this low. There's also a chance that S&P is going to hold this. It might have just pixel fucked. And maybe we're not going to get. So that's how, like, I think the domino pieces kind of start to fall. What's going on? Traditional markets, tariffs, GDP, PCE, FOMC. And then that domino piece is going to kind of fall into crypto. Okay, Bitcoin specifically. Bitcoin is going to follow into DOT, ETH, and Solana and all that. And the levels will kind of play themselves out. So obviously, you know that we can't predict the future, but these two levels to the upside, levels to the downside. You good? So if we're gonna long DOT, .btc needs to look bullish. And thank God the crypto gods gave us a bad low where we can at least say, if we can get a sweep of that, but reclaim a level and we can get bullish structure, that might be one piece of, something that can help. And you know what would be dope too is like a noticeable increase in volume. Okay. And like a hidden and regular type of shit. And you said you had 15 hundo left. So I would go, you have 15 left. So I would
Yeah, so I have 3,500 dots, and I want to go up to 5K. So like 1.5 more to buy.
I would go 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Is that 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. I can't fucking, but I would put
No, it's okay.
the
What the
rest
challenge
of
is?
them, not financial advice,
Yeah,
by the way. I'm only doing this because I know you're smart enough than to just fucking blindly take it. But
I understand.
actually, I would go probably from this low all the way to 2, and this is only for spot. And
Mm-hmm.
then with the objective really making it bottom heavy below 3 to try to get some sort of fuck. And then whatever you have left, I think this would be the trigger. This would be the level where, like, I would zoom out and I would just say, that's my sweep level. And whatever you can't get, like, I would probably try to get back in here. And or if you get anything like this, like anything that you have remaining, I would put back in from this level all the way back down to like 7.5. Yeah, and if you're really bullish, depending on what Bitcoin or S&P is doing, forget the 7.5 in the golden pocket. I would probably go from this sweep all the way to 0.5. And if it went lower than that, I wouldn't really care. The invalidation would be here anyways. And you're on spot, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, I'm even thinking about maybe selling a small amount now on like to break even and then just put more limits down. I haven't decided yet, but that's also like a thought process I'm currently going through.
Sure. And what would probably make you think about that is one, like losing this, and it will at some point, is going to be a little bit of an interesting shit show. But we identified that, and that's very
Mhm.
similar to the Bitcoin scenario
Yep.
of
Yep.
this guy getting cleaned. Or sorry, that's not.
That's not, yeah, but I get it.
I had it earlier. But Bitcoin has like a very similar
Structure.
top, or it's like at around like 85.5, or it's the fuck, dude. Now I need to see it. Here, it's this. Yeah, this one right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So here's your 30-minute. There you go, right here. So that's probably the correlation that I would be looking at, brother. Sounds good?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So 3.8 is next, and then 3.9. And then if Bitcoin really wants to clean all this shit, like like 89, that kind of takes you up higher into all of this, probably around the 4.3. You can see that line up. You can see that line up. You can see that. So that kind of looks interesting. This kind of looks interesting. You know, this kind of starts the cascade.
To take out all the bad highs.
Yeah, and Bitcoin has the same exact. You know.
Yep.
Look at all this shit. So yeah, it's you've got a couple of areas where if you wanted to maybe shave, you could. Sounds good?
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dope.
I mean, sometimes on spots, I'm not really tripping so much about like getting
Oh,
the
you're
perfect
good.
low.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'm just thinking, like I said, should I maybe like sell a little bit, like maybe go down to 2.5 and then have like 50% left fill or not? That's like the thing I'm kind of debating.
You can't go
But
wrong. You can't go wrong. Whatever you decide to do, you're already doing a fantastic job. So I think you have to understand that combining things like it sounds like you know what you're doing. You've been executing quite well. You already have plans for lower. At the end of the day, like if we extrapolated, you know, selling 500 here, buying 500, you know, maybe 50 cents lower, in the grand scheme of things, is probably not going to make that much of a difference. So I think you're doing great. If it's to kind of help you figure that out, my personal opinion, as you probably know, is that I think traditional markets and Bitcoin still could potentially go lower. So if you know, that's why I was asking you, like, if Bitcoin actually goes and breaks 70, well, I think Dot's going to lose 3. Like every coin is going to have a level where people are going to go, fuck, this is really bad. And the selling pressure is going to kick in. You're going to have bottom shorters, people selling. But when people are selling, people are buying. And that's usually the strategy that you want to employ. But obviously, when you're doing leverage trading, unlike you, if you're too early or you're too late, you can still be right about buying it, but you can get fucked. So you're already like in good shape, I think. I think it's still going to go lower. So, you know, if I were you, I would put the rest of my money on, because like there's no point. And I think a lot of times this can even happen when you're leverage trading, but your entry is already here. And for me anyways, trying to add back in here is a little bit more on the greedy side, because what I really want to do is find some sort of inflection point where I can get in like lower here. And so if I'm going pa-ping, 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 then my entry is going pa-ping, 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 right? It's not really worth it for me to go pa-ping, 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 pa-ping. The risk reward only increases to the riskier side. You're not getting a proportionate amount of reward back. Like you're only disproportionately increasing your risk. So if I were you, I don't know if it would make sense to try to take like a higher low. You would just have to be okay with the fact that if it does do this, you're not going to be like, fuck, I could have added more. That's why we talked about this level. You know, where you might not be able to get I wouldn't take it there, but you might be able to market smash there. It's only like a nickel more than your average entry. So who really gives a fuck? You know, and the only thing that could fuck you is it does something like this. So just keep an eye on the levels and have a plan. But if you're hella bullish, obviously, like you're gonna want another higher low, and that VWAP is gonna hold next time. It lost it the first time, it's gonna hold it the next time. That would be extremely bullish. Hey, Fibception! Oh man, I thought you had already left. Much love, Fibception. I'll probably do the Sol and Link and maybe even look at XRP tomorrow. If you want to poke your head in, but I think if you take a look at ETH BTC, .BTC, and you're kind of looking at where FOMC is, GDP and PCE, and of course unemployment next Thursday, there's a couple of puddles that you can see, and hopefully we can kind of hopscotch our way around certain events that we're anticipating and get into some positions. So I don't think it's like a scenario where the long on DOT or Link or Sol or XRP, the one that we really want, it's not going to happen over the weekend, I don't think. So I think you can, relax and enjoy the rest of the weekend. And then if you want to, get caught up on what we talk about tomorrow before the Monday stream, we can take off from there and continue our TA. So have a great night, everybody. Peace, yo. It's a cut choice. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss.
cut choice.